Hello there. Hi. We working here? I got things going. Hi. I always start this stream and I'm so concerned about whether or not it's working. I feel like I make a bad introduction. I should really have a way that I actually like test this, but I feel like it's important to test it on Twitch, like once it's actually happening. So I'm watching on my phone over here. I just want to make sure that it actually starts and I can hear me and you can hear me and that everybody hears everybody. I'm a little confused though. Is this far behind? That doesn't look like me at all. I already blew it, apparently. Perhaps. Where am I? This is off to a weird start. We'll just listen to this nice music. I feel like doing this on the phone is a bad choice, actually. Could just do it, I guess, here. Does this work? It's nice music. I feel like doing this. I feel like a little better checking on some other device. Anyway, whatever. One day I'll start these streams in a way that isn't horrible. So, a couple things from yesterday. What we were doing yesterday. What were we doing? We were working on some Outer Space Friend. We got a little sidetracked, mainly because of Life is Yours, because that's like his purpose in life is to sidetrack me, but that's okay. We were going to work on ARMS, and I've been thinking about the ARMS, and I messed around with some stuff last night. I bought a copy of Final IK. I blew it. This makes me irritated. Final IK is a Unity package that is not cheap. It's normally $90. And looking back in my email, I found that I got a free copy of it 2 years ago from subscribing to Unity, and somehow I didn't redeem the vouchers. So then I had to buy it again yesterday, which is okay because I have an upcoming project upon which I will use it, but I blew it. I'm a little angry at my past self for not doing that. Anyway, I also changed my banner here. Every time I talk about Maya, I talk about how bad I am with it and how I fight it every time. And I'm going to just change my attitude about that. I'm going to just start saying that I'm good at Maya and that I'm great at it. And that if there's any problems in the room, Maya's the problem and not me. So just going to be my new attitude going forward. We'll try that and see how it works. So what do we need to do? We need to push this button, probably. Wonder what city that is. It looks a little familiar. I don't actually think I know. Is this like the ballpark? It's a little confusing. And a giant Sitco sign. Anybody know what city this is? Look, I'm not thinking. I mean, it's a little bit Pittsburgh-esque, but I don't think it's Pittsburgh because the ballpark in Pittsburgh's like right on the water. I don't know, like Columbus, Ohio, something like that. It's just a guess. Anyway, we need good. This is not going to do wallpaper-wise. We need some wallpaper to inspire. Because I don't know why. Because I've decided that that's a thing that we need to do when streaming is have some. Oh, I should have actually. Oh man, I should have paid attention to that. Man, okay, I blew it. I should have paid attention because maybe it would have told me where the thing was. It's like this is in Zurich, for example. Very nice. These are all from Unsplash, by the way. These aren't mine at all. That's pretty cool. Los Angeles, Mexico, more Los Angeles. I just need like some nice natural. I thought I said nature. I don't know why I'm getting these cities. I guess it seems to be a strong urban theme here. Am I not set to? I thought I had it like filtering for nature. Maybe you can't do that anymore. That's pretty. Somewhere in Canada. This is not important at all to the stream. I should really just get going. But I feel like I want to set the tone right, you know? I want to look at the wallpaper and be like, yeah, this is the right time and place. Something's wrong though. I thought these could be natural. Just not feeling any of the things today. I like this person standing on that rocky butte. That place looks familiar. Certainly that architecture looks familiar. Looks like architecture in Valencia, but that's not where this is. I wonder if it's the same architect. Valencia is Spain, not California. I don't know, man. I'm not okay, that guy's pretty good, actually. I was about to say I wasn't really feeling any of this wallpaper, but I just changed my tune. It seems weird today. Like, seems like the quality is not what it normally is. I don't know. Like, we'd be in bad shape if we were trying to do our weird Unsplash projects we did last year, where we were cutting up everything. Okay, I just need a few more clicks. It was actually a little bit sunny in Portland today, which is a sight for sore eyes during rainy times. It's a beautiful sun-streaked morning. Went to the gym, made some burritos that were really, man, we had good burritos for lunch today. I don't know, I just am not. There's a cool monkey. I don't know about that guy. Oh, jellyfish. Those are pretty cool. I went to the Oregon. Yeah, the Oregon Aquarium in Newport. What's it called? Oregon State Aquarium, something like that in Newport. Saw some nice things. Let's go with these rocks. We gotta move on. Nobody's watching it anyway, so it's okay. Anyway, these rocks. Yeah, the Oregon Aquarium was quite lovely. Saw some beautiful jellyfish there and some nice otters. So, what are we actually doing? We a few things. Oh, weird thing, which is slightly annoying. After updating my license for Substance yesterday, I think it was announced today that Adobe bought them. So now I'm wondering if going forward that my Creative Cloud license will get me access to Substance Painter. That would actually be really cool, because I don't like to pay the extra money every month for Substance, because that's just not a tool I use every month. Okay, so what were we gonna do? Let's just check in where we are maybe first. So the thing we're doing, and now maybe this is gonna be a game now. I don't know. Instagram. Somewhere back here, once upon a time, I drew a drawing of a little guy in outer space. Yeah, we were gonna make like a 3D real-time interactive version of this. We really spent hours like on nonsense yesterday, fussing with things like Curvy and Maya and whatever. But towards the end of the day, we at least gave the guy a little face, had it track with my head in VR, which was pretty cute. And so the arms, I was thinking a lot about the arms and played around a little bit with Final IK and setting up some arm bones in Maya. So the two ways that I was thinking of to do this, one of them would be to use Curvy, which is how we ended up doing these dotted lines, and like do some kind of real-time extrusion where we had these arms moving around. And I don't know, I guess you could do it in a way that the geometry was batched and then distorted and would not be super expensive, like do everything in the GPU. I don't exactly know how Curvy does its extrusions like that, but it seemed potentially a little slow. And then I just didn't quite know how I'd handle some things like arm sag or gravity or whatever. But I also just need to get better at rigging in Maya, and I need to brush up on Final IK for an upcoming project. So I thought, like, let's figure out how to do this. And my first thought was with spline-based IK and Maya, and then taking that into Unity. But we don't actually, like, it wouldn't come in as a spline. That's the thing you could do, actually. You could do a thing. You could do a thing where you set up your bone chain and still use the bones, and then use the bones as the curve nodes in Curvy to draw the geometry over it. But if we're gonna have bones anyway, like, may as well skin those bones. So let's start skinning some bones. So yeah, this is where we ended up yesterday. Very simple. Went through Substance, wrote some simple shaders, playing with maybe thinking about how we'd want to do the white border. I have a different thought on that. I kind of want to try it as a post effect now. And I was thinking about how to do that, and I think it wouldn't be too hard. It would almost be like the min-max, what do you call that in After Effects? Like a choke matte, where you'd have a black and white matte that you would get as some kind of render pass. Should be easy enough. Because really you just need to say like, is there alpha or not? So you'd get like the camera buffer, I guess. And then you get a black and white matte of where everything is, and then you would blur that matte, right? So now you have a blurry black and white matte, and then you do a threshold on it where you just throw away all the pixels and basically get the outer edge of that blur and throw away anything that isn't black, and you would expand that matte and end up with a white outline. But it seems like it might be a little chunky. I don't know. We gotta think about that, because there's various ways we could do it. This way is okay, but there's certain kind, like, you know, it's just not working super well on this plus, for example. Also, I don't know that the plus needs to be shiny, but for now we are gonna do a couple things. Let's set the project. Oops. Hello, Maya set. So that gets our project ready. So we want a new scene. Here's what I think we're gonna do. We just need an arm of a scale that makes sense. So in fact, let's maybe open up our, here's our, that's our dude right now. So maybe an arm that's 2 units tall. Seems maybe about right. And then very skinny. So let's start with it. We might end up remaking this. We'll probably remake it. So here's how I think I want to do this. We want a cylinder, and we want the attributes of that cylinder. Let's just go back here for a minute. Yeah, you know. So 2 units tall, and then I don't know quite what the, I want this pretty skinny. Maybe even a little skinnier than that. That might be too skinny. Okay, let's start with this. I have a feeling we will redo this. Am I too loud? I don't think I messed with the gain on this. Maybe someday if anybody ever watches this. Like, I'm right up into what seems like potentially too loud. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, guess that's better than too quiet. Okay, so I screwed up already. I know I went front. Okay, so here's the deal. We need first a bunch of subdivisions. Like 16. I actually don't want any caps. Can I just not have caps? I guess it doesn't really matter. It's not hurting anything. Oh, do we want to add hands to this? Oh, in which case, maybe we want it. Okay. Maybe we need to reconsider this. Maybe instead of this approach. You know what? Let's just do it this way. Let's get the technique down, and then maybe we will box model a really simple arm and hand and do it with, yeah, like a cubic thing, and then smooth that instead. But for the moment, let's just try to get the strategy down. Okay, so we're gonna have this 32 subdivisions. We are then going to draw some bones, and I want to probably draw bones. Let's actually make this 36. That's the wrong number. Let's make it 34 subdivisions, which will be 36. That's not what I want at all. I want you to be 16 and a you to be 34, which should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. So do I need 35 to get the extra height? Basically, I want a total of 36, including the top and bottom, which is why I'm being slightly weird about it, which I think this will be correct because this should be 18 top and bottom. So then we want to draw some bones in here. And let's do this thing where we snap to points. And we can do this snap to the center volume also. But I think it's actually not going to work. But let's just draw some bones first. So, yeah, right. So this is going to be, that's our arm mesh, and then we're going to end up with arm bones, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So all I should have to do is start drawing some bones in here, and we'll just do every third division. I got to stop zooming in and out. And these should just snap. So let's do a bone every third dude. Is that snapping where I want it? Yeah, I guess so. This might be too many bones, might be too few bones. I don't know the answer. I'm off somewhere already. I've already blown it. Because that would be there. Maybe I actually do need it to be 36 subdivisions. Just kidding. Get out of here, bones. Okay, let's try that again. Not an IK handle. Bones. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Doesn't really matter. Just am slightly fixated on round numbers. Okay, that feels a little nicer to me. So now I got a chain of bones over here. And okay. And then let's just stick all this inside a thing and call it arm. So I've got bones and I got an arm. And I think actually one problem is I think I'm a few pixels off. So if I can go to side view, yeah, because it snaps to the front, but that should be no problem. Because if I just that thing zeroed out. So in fact, I need to just select all bones, joints I mean, and now I should be centered. And I could make this radius a little smaller while I was at it. There's a way to do that with all these selected. Doesn't really matter because I'm not even going to be animating or messing with them in Maya much. But so I think that attribute spreadsheet doesn't exist in Maya LT, unfortunately. But you can still mess with is this every joint? Yeah. Don't really need to do that. Okay, so now my bone should be all boning it up. So if I grab any one bone, I should be able to rotate. It'll rotate the chain, so that's good. So what we need to do now is bind that to the skin, which should just be pretty simple, like one button bind. So that now if I grab any bones and rotate them, it should bend the... It's pretty crunchy. Could add more subdivisions, but with all the bones bending, I think it'll be okay. So at this point, I've got like a bony arm sort of thing going. You could set up the IK here. I was actually having trouble with it because my IK was a little goofy because all these bones are perfectly in a line and it wasn't actually very happy with that. But that shouldn't matter in final IK in Unity. So with this arm, I think I'm ready to send it. I'm going to assume the weighting is okay because I think the weights are pretty self-explanatory here. Like if we just look at, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like each bone just influences some vertices around it. Easy enough. It's 13 bones, which isn't crazy. Maybe we want more. I don't know. We're gonna just try to get the basics going. Let's save our arm scene, and now let's send this to Unity. Let's just send just the selection, I guess. Arm. Okay, so now if we go over here, I should have an arm, and if I throw this arm in here, it's going to be too tiny. So let's turn off this thing. That just never works quite the way I want it to. Okay, I've got an arm now. So the trick should be, I got bones here, I got a mesh. At the top of this, I'm going to add, there were various IK solvers or IK setups. I'm not exactly sure which one's the right one to use. Let's try both. So these are just different ways of doing the IK solving. This J means that it uses the job system. It will make it a little easier to drag in the bones. I don't know if Unity has a hierarchical select. It'd be kind of nice if it did. It'd be easy enough to write, I guess, but it's not that many bones. I can just spin it open. Okay, so let's try this one first. And let's just lock this and add all our bones to here. And we don't really have any rotation limits. The target, let's just add a for now. Okay, let's get the arm out of his face and let's just add the target. Where'd you go, target? Is everything tiny? Doesn't Unity have some snapping thing? I always forget that. Oh, that's fine. Okay, this is just going to be the target that will move around. So, and then let's add this target to this IK. I don't really know what these other settings are other than like max iterations. I think it's just, yeah, less intolerance. We'll stop solving. Oh, I see. I have never written, Draklin, how's it going? I've never written an IK solver. But basically the idea is IK stands for inverse kinematics. And so forward kinematics means like if I've got something like my arm and it's got bone here, here, and here, and I want to move my hand, I've got to do that forward down the chain, meaning I need to like move this, then this, then this. And that is kind of how you do it. And that's sort of like a traditional sort of animation kind of thing. IK means you can just grab this point and just pull it, and the rest of everything will automatically move to where it's supposed to. So it makes things way easier because then you just handle this one target and then everything else will happen. And so final IK is a system to do that in Unity. And I think we set it up right. Let's see. I should have like a bendy spaghetti arm. Oh, I forgot. I might still have VR turned on for this project. That would not be good necessarily. Let's turn that off actually before I destroy everything. How's it going today, Draclin? I'm trying to make spaghetti arms for this guy in outer space. I need to unlock this, and I need to click this, and let's just turn off this for the moment. Actually, I need to see. I really want an updated version of Unity 2018 that does not have this stupid problem with 2018.3.2.net. And this just came out a few days ago, and that's been a known issue for a while. Let's see. Unity issues.net 4.5. I can't remember where they keep their issue tracker. I know they fixed it in the 2019 betas, but I'm not quite ready to move to 2019. Where's that thing? I just saw it. Unity issues. Oh no, the map, that was kind of an accidental thing. It almost is an Indiana Jones map, but we're gonna have this like volumetric 3D map around you in space, I think, which I think will be good. And I kind of want to animate it. I don't exactly know how to do that. Where's the Unity issue tracker? Unity issue tracker is what it's called. .net. Won't fix. That's not what I want. It's a .NET 4.5 issue. This was a relatively new. Problem. It's this goofy OmniSharp issues like Visual Studio Code. I know I have found this issue before. Anyway, I'm gonna assume this just isn't fixed then, because I have 2018.3.2. There's nothing in those release notes. Okay, we'll just hope something happens. You are disgusted with the state of mobile games, so you're making a private Scrabble game for personal use. That's cool. That's how good things start, I feel like, when you're just like, this is unacceptable, I'm gonna do it myself. I think that is the origin story of a lot of good things in the world. Okay, I'm not gonna get distracted by this issue tracker thing. Okay, look at that. I don't know why it moved over there. Okay, yeah, we got like a noodle arm going. It is pretty crunchy. Did I not turn on the... So maybe the job system version doesn't have this like fixed transforms thing. So it's a bit crunchy. So, okay, I'm confused about a few things. The target looks like it is where it should be, but when I ran this, maybe it's mad because the target, whatever. Let's try it like this, with the target slightly ahead. Seems to be struggling. Okay, let's try it with the non-job system version, which is annoying because it doesn't have a way to automatically add bones, which seems like a massive oversight. Unless I'm just missing something, it seems really irritating that you have to add bones individually. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Surely there's a way to do that. Oh well, it's not too horrible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, just making sure I didn't miss any. 12, 13. Okay, let's do that. Let's turn on this fixed transforms thing. Let's put target. Let's leave it right there. Let's set target. Fixed transforms. Okay, let's see if this one's any better. I don't understand why it wants to be over there. Are you actually like... I wonder if I should add like a little bit of curvature sort of naturally to it. What a strange, look at these strange choices it's making. My poor spaghetti arm. I could go in and add probably like individual rotation, but maybe we need to have like a kind of a bind pose that would make it a little happier. Now another thing, the next thing we'll try is to use this other solver. I think solver is the right term. With this other IK implementation, this fabric one. Let's just try it with the same setup, which unfortunately means we got to do the bones again. Is there really not a way to just like add hierarchy of bones? It seems very silly. Okay. Hierarchy of Bones is your band name. It's not a bad band name. I've heard worse. Yeah, I have a big problem with that too. With mobile ads that are just like out of control. They're out of control. And it's a problem for me because I have a 98-year-old grandmother who loves her iPad and loves to play games on her iPad, but it's hard for me to find games for her that are not like information overload with like coin doubler, bonus pack, subscribe now, whatever, like where she just wants to play a bubble popping game. So like, just as an example, Candy Crush, I feel like is one of the games that really started this, where there's just so much overload that she just can't handle. She's a savvy person for 98, absolutely, and it's amazing she can use her iPad. But like, so bubble popping game is like the simplest thing. It's like you shoot a bubble and pop a bubble, and that's all it should be. But the state of mobile games in that world is like Bubble Witch, where there are Bubble Witch Saga, like Candy Crush Saga, where it's from King, it's from the same people, where there's like power-ups and coin doublers and whatever. Maybe not coin doublers, but that kind of thing, you know, like add-ons. There's an overworld map. There's also an Angry Birds bubble popping game. And it's just hard. It's hard to just find a game. And so what I really try to look for, and right, ads pop up every second, a video pops up that you have to watch, or ads that are like mini games that just are so confusing to her. With all this extra crap, where I would much rather pay a few bucks for a game and not have any of that stuff other than just like, hey, here's the game to play. But that is I don't know, mobile games, they've gone places. In a while. They were always kind of bad, but they seem especially bad now. That's what I always want. Actually, I don't mind the ads if I can pay you $1 or $2 or whatever to never see ads. It's okay, but that's just not how it works because there's not infinite money in there, and that's not how these games are monetized. They're like monetized for whales, where people can put any amount of money in. And it's irritating. I already forgot what I was doing. Did I add the bones to this guy? I did. Okay, so we started and we were tying the fabric. This already looks a little better. Oh, that's way better. I think this is a slower, more intensive IK solution, but actually that looks pretty great. Look at these noodle arms. I'm actually pretty pleased with that. So we could just duplicate these arms. So I think we'll probably rebuild that arm. Boy, did I name this in an insane way. I think the names are backwards. I think I did left on the left. What's this eyeball called? Left eye. Yes, I went by my left. Okay, so if I did this, and then we grab these, and we tried to move them down here. Oh, he's gonna have problems with his outline. We need a new outline solution. I think my initial solution was a quick, clever trick, but I don't think that quick, clever trick is gonna hold up. Okay, so what did he look like? What did you look like, little creep? Nope, me. Okay, they were kind of out on the sides, and they're short, but we can always just cram some extra arm up in him if we need to. So let's say 0.25 and negative 0.25, and then let's just take them up inside him, so those are only down by 1.25. Yeah, and it's kind of a bummer that we just got to come up with the right solution for that. I feel confident that we can come up with it, though. We can make a way. There's actually there's ways we could make sure that that stuff always was drawn behind. I feel like, in fact, we could probably just on the outline shaders. Would this work if we just drop this to 1500? I don't think it will. Oh no. Like behind the geometry? I don't think it does. I think it's not. It's got to be more complicated than that, but that's okay. We can figure that out. Yeah, it's a bummer. I mean, and I have a lot of iOS-ish games kind of started, and I just got so discouraged. There's one I actually kind of like that I think is pretty cool, but that I just got so discouraged by the monetization that I don't know. Maybe someday I'll revisit those things. This is not the way to do this. Alpha test is above geometry. Yeah, I think that was a naive thought that I could just cram it back there. Although, we actually probably could. This is weird because this is really a sprite sorting thing, but I think you can add a sorting group to any piece of geometry and then drop things behind. Is that not true? There's a way to do that. I feel like I've gotten that to work before. Maybe you have to blend it, or you have to draw it as transparent. Gosh, what is that trick? There's a trick to do this for sure. I just can't quite remember what it is. But I'm getting distracted. So we want arms is what we want at this moment. So arm left and arm right. We want to target. We should just actually add these in the model, probably would be the thing to do. Let's just do that because then it'll be a little easier to maintain. Because we'll have arm mesh, arm bones, and I forgot how to just create a null like that. So let's just have that arm and then send the selection to Unity. And then we should just get an arm target automatically because I didn't break that prefab, right? Yeah. So now, oh no, in here, I can just feed this guy a target and feed this guy a target. And so I should just be able to grab these. Yeah. It's not great when it's coplanar, but we would just find a way to avoid that. Which actually looks pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with this. I feel pretty okay about this. It's not perfect. And maybe there's some things we could go back to Maya. See, the thing that I'm missing that it may not quite be possible is what I'd really like is to have some gravity on these bones so that the bones would always be trying to fall. I think I'd also like to, I wonder if we can put some kind of, see, it gets really gross here. I'd want those to like kind of bend backwards, but that's only when it's sort of coplanar. We may not need to worry about that. I also don't know if I can, if this rotation doesn't seem to do anything, which I'm a little confused by. What if if the bone itself, we probably shouldn't be just moving that around. I don't think we can actually. No. Yeah, there's definitely some things I still need to learn about. Ooh, that just turns into a mess. But it's pretty good. Gravity bone. Wait, is that a thing? What am I thinking of? Is gravity bone a thing? Why am I picturing Brendan Fraser? Is there a movie with Brendan Fraser called Gravity Bone? Am I going to get in trouble if I search for Gravity Bone on the internet? Oh, that game. No, from Blendo. Okay, yes. But then what am I thinking of? What is the bone thing with Brendan Fraser? Brendan Fraser bone? Monkey bone. Different thing. I misspelled all those words. When you search for Brendan Fraser bone, you just get sexy pictures of Brendan Fraser. Let's try to spell those words correctly instead of incorrectly. Monkey bone. I don't think I ever saw Monkey Bone. I kind of, in my mind, it's mixed up with Cool World. Ooh, he had a soul patch in Monkey Bone? Did he really? He doesn't here. Wait, Monkey Bone wasn't from 2001, was it? Maybe the soul patch is a disguise? I don't know, this movie looks pretty good. She looks great. Rose McGowan. Cool pajamas. Maybe Monkey Bone is a, that Dave Foley? Soul patch. Is that a dead Chris Kattan? A dead Chris Kattan. I think, okay, wait, I mean, we need like a brief diversion to watch the Monkey Bone trailer. Maybe. Things I would make. Yeah, those Blendo games are definitely an inspiration to me. Monkey Bone trailer. I just need to, considering this research.
Show me the monkey! Take that monkey!
Stu Miley is the creator.
The man behind the monkey.
Monkey Bone
Dave Foley.
is his creation.
I love your ways.
Stu was about to have it all until it all came crashing down.
Is he dead? It's a little bit Beetlejuicy.
Director of The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Wait, was this a Tim Burton movie?
Am I dead?
Hiya, boss.
Comes the story of a man whose imagination brought a monkey to life.
This is living.
Hey! Get your fat butt out of my face.
And a monkey
Uh-huh.
We've got big plans for that body of yours!
who
Okay.
wanted a life of his own.
Looks good.
Stu?
Whoa, baby!
If perfect screams.
Oh, okay, maybe he has the soul patch when he's the monkey. Yeah, sure.
Swings. It's got to be
Drinks for everybody.
Monkey Bone. 20th Century Fox presents
With the Offspring song.
Bridget Fonda.
The woman I love is living with a little monkey that looks like me.
Dive, dive, dive!
What a lucky girl.
Monkey Bone.
Sorry, kitty. Be right back after I choke my monkey!
Well, there we go. There we go. I now feel inspired to move on. Where was the dead Chris Kattan part? They seemingly... Was Chris Kattan mentioned in that trailer at all? Because he's got top billing here. Maybe he just got like thrown on the box when he was at the height of his fame to... Wait a minute. Why is Chris Kattan missing from the... Well, I don't know. It's hard to say. This is all hard to say. Let's get back to what we were doing, which was making some IK wacky spaghetti arms. They don't do great there. Like, I want it to bend backwards when that happens, but I don't really know. I don't know what I'm missing, and it seems like there's not a ton of options here. If I don't do fixed transforms, I think it gets very angry. Yeah, it just gets like, gets gross. So I think we definitely want that on. Weight would just be the weight between like what the arm is doing and what, I think we want rotation limits. I think that's if you have limits on the individual bones. So I don't know that that's actually... Like, I want that to move the whole arm back. Maybe we could. Maybe if we had, rotation limits on all of these where they would never get that tight down there. So that sort of seems like we would have to add rotation limits to all the bones. Is that going to be heavy? I don't know. So rotation limit hinge. So if we said these could never, whoa, that maybe doesn't look great. Wonder which one's less intense. Hinge gives a maximum and a minimum. What if we can say that on all axes? Like if we said on all axes, I don't know. That looks not good. I may be abusing Final AK. So how could we... That definitely makes it angry. That seems a little better. It gets very jumpy. Like the result I would want is when I get close to it that it kind of bows back, which it's starting to do there. It just starts to kind of chunk out a little bit. I sort of want no twist. That does not look good. Oh dear. Okay, well, I don't think that's how that works. I think we do need the twist. That's an improvement, I think. It just has a sort of jitteriness now, which is not great. Maybe that was way too low. I guess maybe we could set it where it only, like where the top joint, I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready for this. I feel like maybe for now we keep it simple. Let's not worry about this and then just try to stage things so it doesn't happen. Achieve my gravity bone desires through ropey physics. Yeah, potentially, but ropey physics are like the two ways that I would maybe do something ropey. There's a number of ways. I guess you could do like a fakey 2D thing, but if you want a 3D thing, the ways that I would do it are with bones in a rope, or with some sort of real-time extruded thing, or maybe some sort of shadery thing. I guess it would kind of depend on what the rope needed to do. But ropey physics, I think there's some packages for that, but I'm not sure that I would get the arm thing. These will be his arms, and the thing that I'm just imagining as the easy instant version is that this is almost like a weird mirror where you put on the headset and then you're in outer space with this guy who's, I guess, the sun. And then when you move your head, he moves his head around. And when you move your arms, he moves his arms around. And I think it will be entertaining for me. And I think it could be entertaining. I also need something like there's just these things that pop up every once in a while where it would be handy for me to be able to give a quick VR demo with something that didn't really need any onboarding. And so this little thing could be fun, and I feel like the sun could do little things and interact with the stuff in the world, and it would be sort of like a puppet, I guess, but a puppet that instead of being above it, you're controlling the puppet sort of mirror-like. So maybe let's just build that and test it real fast, because that shouldn't be too complicated. Because if we offset whatever you're doing, the left, right, it's going to be backwards, so we're going to need to turn... Oh no, we're probably going to need to do some quaternion stuff. We need to like turn the quaternion inside out so that left becomes right. But I think you can do that. I think you can just multiply it by a right quaternion. I don't know. Quaternions always. Let's just say that. Okay, so here's what we could do. So I already added like a little head tracker thing. So we could add a little hand tracker to each of these. Actually, this should just be like node tracker. And then we can just put it on whatever we want and give it a node and get, yeah, right now we're just getting rotation, but we could get, so we need to do something like this. We need to do something that's like node. And just because Jacqueline's watching, I'm gonna use good encapsulation after I misspell this. Let's try that again. We need this to be an XR node, and then this is what we'll just get this. And so this is going to, then we need a position offset. Right? Or I could just invert the Z, and then that would make it really like a mirror. As long as I'm on one side of the Z, it will appear on the other side of the Z. I don't exactly know. Let's just make it, let's handle these problems separately. This will just be an offset, and we will just add this. And then we'll just add like -5Z or something on all those values. Oh yeah, and then we need to rename this to node tracker. And then we will put that on our targets. Serialized field. I know, I was having trouble spelling that. Node tracker. I worked on a big project with enough of a team where a big enough team that code style mattered. So I, for the last few months, have been pretty focused on good code, structure, legibility, all that stuff. Okay, head. And these two guys, this will be the right hand. This might not actually be what I want to do. Left hand. I may have named these really poorly. And then let's just give them an offset of like -5 in Z. And then we need to turn VR support back on. And Pascal case, excuse me? Now wait a minute. No, here's what I would say about that. These aren't properties, these are fields. So in my mind, I'm not even sure what the proper style for this is, but I would say that fields should be lowercase and properties. Fields should be like camel case and properties should be Pascal case, because that's how I personally differentiate between fields and properties. Member variables. But I see fairly common, I feel like even in Unity and Microsoft, where they would be like, okay, the fields are lowercase, but properties are uppercase. I mean, I think Unity itself does that a fair amount. Like this is a field, and so this field is lowercase. Is that fair to say? Because then if I was going to do XR node, then I'd have like getter and setter and all that stuff. Although in that case, these probably wouldn't be serialized. This probably would be totally private. And then that guy, you know. In fact, I should probably make these private too while I'm at it, right? I know plenty of people like to do this thing. No, not that thing. Like this thing. And then they make the property that, but I don't like that. I feel like Unity pretty often does camel casey fields and Pascal casey properties. I feel like that's kind of the Unity convention. And then Pascal casey methods. That might not be true, but I think it is. Okay, so that's going to do the thing. Now, okay. So those arms need to be, okay. Well, let's see. If I want the root, this is going to be interesting. How do I want to do this? So if I want the head, if this is like sun, I've decided he's the sun now. I think he previously wasn't necessarily the sun. So now those are gonna move with him. We'll move this tracker up here. This might get confusing. This does get a little weird when you have the local transform, but I think that's okay to do, because I think inside the kind of tracking space of your head with the Oculus Rift that the hands are, that local transform will work. I might be wrong about this. Okay, so we need a head. Okay, he's back there. That seems wrong. And then hands. I don't know if these are going to work, because I think I'm blocking everything. Oh no, where did he go? Okay, I definitely did this. I did this wrong. Definitely did this all wrong. So the arms, what they're reaching towards, I should probably make those where I can actually see what they are. This guy, Okay, let's try this again. So these were like 1.25 negative, and this was negative 0.25. No, this is 0.25. That's like a game, you know, whatever it is. What are those things called? Hackathon kind of thing? You did one of those, right? With your wire game? Was that a Ludum Dare? Is that even how you say that? I'm not sure how you say that. Game Jam, that's the word that I want. Okay, so you like to differentiate scope between Pascal case and camel case. But I think my preference, I think, is to differentiate between fields and properties, which I think is kind of the Unity thing. I would definitely do a longer project on Steam. I think the thing that on stream, I think the thing that happens though is that I end up with contract jobs that are longer term, and then that is where my sort of long-term attention and energy goes, and then it just feels sort of nice to use these as little weird experimental things or kind of skill building things. However, some of the things I've done for the last few streams, like those sphere experiments, were part of some R&D on a longer term thing. And even though this really was just a goofy thing for me to test some stuff and now experiment with Kirby and Final IK, which I'm going to probably have a longer term project with Final IK, I kind of am starting to imagine this as a thing. Like, I could sort of imagine this as a goofy, weird little puppetry sort of thing. So I don't think I need to offset these, actually. I think I can just get these and nope. And only do the offset on the... I'm not sure if that's true. I've had some problems with this before where I had the head and hands because I want the roots of these things. I guess the trick would be I could put the arms inside here, but to keep the targets out. That may actually be what I have to do, which would break the prefab, but that's not that big of a deal. I did kind of like them in there, but it's not that important. Okay, so now I've got a little dude. The arms are looking the wrong way, because really the whole thing is the wrong way. And I feel like I need to put something in here to make these hands visible where the targets are. Because then he could be there and just sort of reach where my hands are. I guess that's kind of the question, is whether I want him to sort of exist in his own space with his own hands. I think I do. And then have the hands offset also, but those little nodes, yeah. So we need to do this. I think we need to have let's try something like this, where the head is here and everything goes in the head and the head gets this. And then outside of the head, we need, and actually let's just make these spheres for the moment, because that should be a little easier to see. Those will be the targets. That's what that will aim for. And then on both of these, we'll just change these targets. And hand right. No, that's left. That's right. And then those are the things that will get this tracker and this tracker. And then these do not go inside the head. Get out of here. Then all of these will have the same offset, which will just make 5Z. And then let's make these littler. Oh no! Did I not do the hands correctly? Seems like I have no hands. Or like the hands are just reaching around in here. So let's make the hands where a human could see them, probably. First would be a good idea. Oh, that's much too tiny. Okay, those, and then these should, left hand and right hand. Did I do this correctly? Get the local position, get local rotation, add that offset to it. I think I'm just not actually seeing these, and so, and I think it is unfortunately because I keep messing with where my monitors are. Let's just, this is probably not gonna be a great idea, but let's try it. And put this Oculus tracker here. Oh yeah, so yes, I would. I think I would like to do that. There's two. Now I guess there's three longer term projects I've been thinking of. The Oculus Quest is coming out relatively soon. I would kind of like to ship something for Oculus Quest before it comes out. And maybe that will be this thing. Oh, look at him. Okay. So, you know, the offset's really backwards. So everything is really backwards. So I could rotate his whole jam, I think, and then it would actually be correct. Okay, let's try that. He looks a little creepy. Those little spaghetti arms. Let's just 180 this. Then he's probably going to appear elsewhere. Except now I can't see the hands at all. 180 him. Okay, yeah, I need to reverse him and invert the offset. I'm making things very confusing. And then change the offset of all these to be negative. We can come up with some better math on these, I think, to make these less roll. Okay. The hands are just so close. So we could do a thing where we sort of exaggerated what the hands are, or gave the hands less of an offset. That might be the thing to do, because yeah, the center of his head is just, and then just in general, like a person, yeah, okay, what if we did that? That would probably be a really easy way to semi-solve this problem, is make this like -3, and then he should always be sort of reaching in front. That's too far. But he's pretty cute. His arms are definitely backwards. The left and right is inverted. The left and right head rotation is inverted, which is a little annoying. So we would need to come up with that, but I don't know. He's kind of cute. Okay, so let's do this. Let's say that he's not as far away, that he's more like -3 away, and that these are actually more like -2 away, and then Tumbler. Oh no! Did I accidentally make a little person? I mean, he's vaguely Pac-Man-ish also. He's also a little bit like Mr. Happy? I should probably not search for Mr. Happy. Mr. Happy. Who knows what the internet's gonna say? This guy. These little people, what were these called? Yeah, Mr. Men. And Little Miss Sunshine, Mr. Men. So weirdly, I don't think this was a very well-known thing in the US. Mr. Men. Or maybe it was. Maybe it was older. Let's see. Where was this actually from? Mr. Men. So it was English. And Little Miss. So weirdly, I have no concept of these from my childhood at all, except Arby's had them. They had like a toy deal. So we did like Mr. Men Arby's. I'm pretty sure that's where they came from. Yeah, you could get all these little... so I had... These look maybe more modern. But I remember like this little Mr. Man. Or Mr. Happy, I think this is Mr. Happy. These don't look quite like... Maybe these are a little different era. Adorable. Look at these little guys. Sanrio. Well, now, 2017. Still around. Look at that Mr. Man. Mr. Happy with a little hat. Adorable. This is vaguely what was in my mind with some of these guys. Okay, so now we did that. Now let's see how that is. So let's reset view to be forward. That actually didn't help. Because I probably need to recalibrate my whole room. So left and right are backwards. Up and down are correct. The eyeballs are on the wrong side of the dude. But that's all okay. We could, instead of making it an absolute offset, make it an offset from the camera. So he would always be kind of in front of you, no matter what you did. Would that be good or bad? That might be bad. I feel like I can't really reach where I want to. Or like the relative positioning. Also, the positioning of the head. I don't know, he's pretty cute. Okay, we gotta get his eyeballs. He's got eyes in the back of his head. How can we actually do this properly? So, instead of doing the rotation, okay, let's keep undoing these things. Let's not do this. Let's change this back to 3 and then make these only 2. Is this going to fix everything? I don't think it will. Because I think the look up and down will be wrong. Yes, so looking up and down is inverted, and left and right is inverted. But position is good, right? No, position is also inverted. This is a tricky one. So you could try to do something where you got the relative position from the head for the hands and then did some kind of offset for that. So basically I'd get the position of the head and then figure out an offset from the hands and then reapply them. This is pretty good though. Just the front back. Tricky. Inverting positions is easy. Inverting rotations is a little trickier, but I think you can just multiply the quaternion by backwards. Is that a thing that works? Yes, everything's a little crooked. It's because I'm not calibrated well, my Oculus. I've been changing my monitor layout and my Oculus camera sensors were behind the monitor, and so I just moved them, but the room is still calibrated to basically have the cameras over here, and now one is over here, and so it's sort of like I've rotated the world by 20 degrees-ish, something like that. So can I just... invert this position by multiplying it by or just do the inverse of the rotation. I don't think I want to invert it though. I think I want to turn it inside out, but let's try it. Oops. Quaternion dot inverse. I'm not sure if that's going to get me what I want. Oh, quaternions, why? Yeah, once I really, okay, look up, look down, look left, look right. That's actually, oh my gosh, did I get something with quaternions right on the first try? Unbelievable. Okay, so if I move, he's tracking with me, which makes sense. The hand position is a problem because pushing my hands out is bringing them closer. So that is the one issue here. So we could just, because that position's not local to the head, but we could get an offset from the head. It's pretty good. How would we want to do that? Because he needs to be... I thought it used to be like that, actually, that the hands were tracked relative to the head, but that is clearly not true at this moment. I guess I could invert the hands and do an offset that was inverted. So the hands could have... Oh no! Turning the head to lose... Turning your head but not losing sight of him. I don't know. Kind of depends on where this thing is going to live. Because if it's going to live, like if I was going to publish this for the Go, like the Android version of the Oculus Store, and it was on the Go, which is only 3 DOF, you would always only be looking around, and then he could just be there looking around. Oh no, we want hands. We definitely want hands. So this would be like an Oculus Vive MR, WinMR thing, and then maybe also the Oculus Quest, which all have room tracking. So we could turn off the tracking. Like we don't actually have to do the head movement. Or we would just set it up in such a way that there was kind of a line in the sand sort of thing, that you were operating in your space, like your bounding box, and then he would just be operating in a reflection of that bounding box. Or just anywhere that you look, he is always moving relative to you. I don't know. Maybe when I have a better idea of what this dude will actually do. So scale. So we could add a scalar. So we can have an offset and a scalar. Scale is maybe not quite the right word for this, but let's just like... So we could multiply this times... So we'd scale it first and then apply an offset. No, we need to do dot multiply, dot scale. Yeah, dot scale. And then so scale would normally be and then we would just invert Oh, that's kind of lame. So we'd have to set this first. Oh, whatever. We can do it like so scale truly scales it. It just doesn't return the thing. So that's a little annoying. And then we would say scale this something like that. And so then on the hands, on both hands, I'm not actually sure this is going to work, but we'll see, is we would, this might not work at all. The whole strategy, what I'm imagining here, may be totally wrong, is to invert those and then change this to -2. This might be all wrong. Bad strategy, potentially. Yes, bad strategy, because now these are on my hands, and that's not where these go. So that was scale it. Maybe I still need to do... That still seems wrong. Did my scale not work? The scale, no, that wouldn't work. I don't want to be able to scale it if I was scaling it relative to the head. This was the wrong strategy. Wrong strategy. So the offset is still good. I kind of want to do this without having to know about the head, but I think we need to know about the head. But that's okay. We can just get a position. We basically get the position relative to the head. And then add an inverted version of that to the head. Something like that. So how do I want to do that? Is this really the right way to do this? I feel like there's got to be... Yeah, because the rotation's always relative to the head, so really the hands need to be positioned. So we just need like some way to say... And then head is not head relative. I mean, this could be head space, because I think that's funny. Headspace. And so we would say something like, so if it is headspace, we would do we wouldn't add the offset. So else, do we only want the offset? No, that's fine. We just won't set an offset there. So it would be equal to wherever you are. So you'd subtract it. You'd need to get it, good grief. Okay, so we need to do something like minus the head, maybe, and now we will be like relative to wherever the head is, and then we can mess with it, and then but that's annoying because like the head is also going to have some arbitrary set of things done to it, like offset wise. So we just need a reference to that, I guess. So let's do this. We'll say like a private transform head, and this will just say if head is not equal to null, then we want to offset ourselves from this and then add the old head. Is that right at all? Let's do it like this, where there's just two options. Like basically, if we know about the head, if we don't know about the head, do whatever. We do know about the head. Subtract the old head position, add the new head position. We will assume that we're going to do some other kind of transforming stuff in there. Otherwise, just do the thing. And then these two things will want to know about the head. The head does not know about the head. I don't know. My logic might be not right on that. On any of this. Strong possibility that I did all that incorrectly. Okay. No, that actually seems about right. So that's good. Head I'm still happy with. I'm moving relative to head, and all I want to do is invert the Z. Invert the Z movement, because I think I'm happy with everything else. Right. Okay. So now we will put the scalar back, and then the scalar will have a, will be 1, 1, -1 on Z, and we will multiply that where? We will multiply that. We need to do it in here. We need to scale it before, right? Oh no. Yeah, we would have to scale it in here. So this would be transform.local position.scale scale. We need to, I think I deleted scale. Let's add it again. Make it default to 1, so which would be no change. And then for the hands, we want, I think I did this in a way complicated way. -Z on those. Hands should not have an offset. Wait, why did I have an offset on hands? And why was it working? That doesn't seem good. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't working the way I just had it, actually. Okay, the hands now seem way off in Z. Reach way back here. The Z, that's rotate. No, it's in that space. So do I not need this at all? That's backwards. That scale seems like it's not doing what I thought it was going to do. So if I have no offset for the hands, that's moving them in world Z, it looks like. This scale seems like it is actually doing nothing. But we have a head. I basically just want to invert the Z. Why isn't that working? What am I doing? What have I done wrong? Also, why does this take so long to start? So those end up with the head. So the scale is having seemingly no effect. Why is that true? What ridiculous thing have I done? This is definitely having an effect. But that is all done after the fact. And I don't want it after the fact. I may decide to do that, but I don't understand why my scale is doing nothing. Am I not remembering how scale works here? Multiplies it by the same component of scale. So yeah, if I have a local position, and this should actually mess with the local position. Maybe that's not a thing you can do on a local position, actually. Now that I think about it, I think that's maybe not a thing you can do. Surprised it didn't throw some kind of error. But when you try to mess with properties of a transform like that, I feel like sometimes Unity's not into it. Okay, so now, yes, now scale means something. The problem is that it means something in world space right now, and I need it to mean something in headspace, right? Is that true? True or false? No, that's pretty good. Actually, maybe that's right. Back here, back here. And then the thing that I wanted to do was just exaggerate this by now also applying an offset. So now we do want an offset of whatever. Not probably -2, right? Yeah, move it hands back towards me. So we need 1, and then -2, and then how's that? Not great. Now is my offset no good? Offset. No, it's set to 0, not just -2. That's definitely too much. What if we said -1? Yeah, look at that guy. So there's no rotation in how this IKEA is working, which I'm not exactly sure what to do about that. I do like this little guy. I like to talk and gesture with him. He needs to be blinking, would be an important thing to do. I don't love the eyeballs the way they work currently. However, I may make him blink. Can you see this? You seen Dracula? Are you still there? Did you vanish into the world because I was being too ridiculous talking to this this version of myself? So I'm gonna make him not as far away. Which will be the offset of the head. Look at that guy. Oh, but now that means the hands are no good. So that needs to be even more. So that is a problem. So that needs to be, maybe we need to have the hand, that position is set off in world space. So that needs to be now bigger, because we're counteracting whatever that offset is. Let's just fake it for now and make this -2. Now I don't really like that I can stick my hands in there. So maybe it should actually be more like -2.5. That seems like it's not working. Yeah, so when my arms are straight, I kind of want his arms straight. That should not be 0. I don't think I understand this. Why are those offsets? Because that was the scale. Good grief. Without changing the wrong numbers. That would explain it. Okay, that's the right idea. It's too big. Okay, that feels pretty good. So we scale it, and then we set it off by a meter. I kind of want to make him blink. You can do little dances. Look up over there. Not crazy about the arms just aren't quite what I want them to be. Maybe I need fewer bones. I don't know. But it's pretty good. I want him closer still. I want to be closer to my little friend. So what do we end up with there? -1, -1. We may have to change this again because this is still world space, and we're going to mess with this number and just offset him by 1 meter. And now we've probably ruined that thing again. Why is this so slow? Is it Kirby? No, that actually worked okay. So I want to give him real little hands and have rotation working, but I don't know how to do that. So the blinking, we could just do a periodic, what's the easiest way to do that? We could do some, a quick coroutine, really, I guess, that would just wait an amount of time and then loop through and scale the eyeball down. We could also just use some pre-existing lerping package, but I always feel like, I don't know why, I just always want to write coroutines to do this stuff. Good, but there's a million tweening packages that we could use, but I feel like by the time I got one and messed with it, I don't know. Who knows? Okay, so that's doing stuff. Let's now, that's good. Pretty pleased with that. Yeah, okay. Let's now oh, why were we multipass there? Okay, so I want to make this little fellow blink. I'm going to turn off VR for the moment. And really the eyes, we don't need to do this. Let's just for kicks restore this prefab and throw, none of that stuff should be in here. Yeah, here's how I think I want to do this. Let's do this. Let's go back to Maya. Vix, I was just making arms all over the place. Oh my gosh, you just missed it. Okay. Let me fix what I just broke and then make him blink because I want him to blink. And then then we will get back to the arms. I had arms going around. I was having weird. I was talking to myself, but it was like I was talking to the sun. No, it's okay. We will get back to arms. I want to change a couple things though. I want to change this, and I want to. I only want this selection to be hello. And I only want... How are you today? What's going on? This export this, and this one will be called plus. Oh man, that's gonna make some things happen. That's okay though. Just occurred to me. So now I should have this friend back. And it should be easy to drop on the materials. And let's make just a blinky script. This will be silly. Because what we'll do is we'll animate down, we'll make some coroutines. Should really probably just we want to do like, that'll be open. We need to like close. And then false will be the open. And then we'll have, yeah, it's gonna be great. It's totally gonna work. You're in control of the Sonos, the studio Sonos? What kind of work do you do, if you don't mind me asking? Actually, we just wanted this to be like a target. Let's give this like blink to 0 will be closed, and then right, something like that. So what we will do is, and then this will just happen forever. And we'll just basically have an amount of time that we wait and an amount of time that we wait. What's your problem? Oh, this is called. Okay. And then this will be called. And what this will do is like get a current scale. And just start it to 1, and then it will say, we'll just loop to that. We'll say whatever we are, animate to 0 over a duration. And then we'll, yeah, let's give this a duration. Let's say 1 second to start with. Make it very slow. We'll go look up what the actual math and frequency of human blinks are. So we will say that yeah, start time equals time.now, float end time equals start time plus duration, while time.time is less than end time. Is it time now? It's just time to time. I'm thinking a date now. And then we want to lerp between start scale equals scale, float end scale equals target. Being overly verbose with this because I'm trying to think of how it works. We could actually just get that from the models, but whatever. And then we need like just need the transform. Don't need an update loop. Just realized I'm probably going to totally change the way that eyes and blinking works anyway, and we might throw all this away, but oh well. Right now we won't wait for any amount of time, but this will be how long we maintain our eyes closed and how long we wait for this next blink. And then what are we going to do in here? We will do something where we have like alpha is equal to time.time minus start time divided by end time minus start time. And then, oh, at the end of this, yeah, okay. And then we need to have like equal to lerp between start scale end scale by the alpha. Really, I don't know if I feel like alpha is the right term for that. It's what I always use because I'm usually animating the alpha of something. But where are you, MathF? So that should give us a new scale, and then we just want to say, in fact, we can just set scale to this. I don't need that. Is this right? Is any of this right? I don't know. We'll see. Mind-numbing advertising, banners and emails and spam no one wants to receive. That does not sound like a very fun day. But I have been there because, you know, unfortunately, advertising pays bills. Actually, I don't know why I'm doing this. I could just scale this whole thing. I could just scale this whole thing and it would work the same. Bloop. This is not going to be a very good looking blink, unfortunately. But let's just try it this way for a moment. Perfect. I nailed it. Nailed it. I forgot a couple things. I forgot a couple things like the fact that those already have a scale on them. A pretty weird scale. In fact, okay, let's just not do this. Let's use the local transform. Let's just use the transform scale. Does it need to be the lossy scale? This seems like it should work. Did I set that in milliseconds and it really is in seconds? Is time.time in seconds and not milliseconds? It is indeed. It is indeed. Okay. I forgot. These are the arms. These are the weird spaghetti arms. Okay, he's got a blink. Okay, let's see. He is praying. Human blink rate. I want to know like the duration of a blink, and I want to know it all. I want to know all the numbers. Okay, generally, okay, adults. Women using oral contraceptives blink 32% more often than women on average for unknown reasons. That's weird. Generally, between each blink is an interval of 2 to 10 seconds. Okay, so that's easy. So we just need to make our wait between blinks a random.range between 2 to 10 seconds. So that part's easy. And then I don't even know how fast a blink is. Let's say like it's 0.2 down and up for now. And I don't know that we really even need a duration between, like, a little blink. I don't think 2 to 10 is good because sometimes I like it when people just make him blink when you blink inside the Oculus. Why complicate things? The new the Vive Pro Eye. I know you're kidding, and the funniest thing about that is he would be blinking while your eyes were closed. But the Vive Pro Eye will do eye tracking, and I wonder if it does give you any blink information, because that would be interesting to know. That's kind of cool that you'll be able to do like eye-based targeting. What I'm interested in is this. This is the thing to me that VR has been waiting for. Real-time depth of field based on what you're looking at. I think that is going to increase like the immersiveness and realism of VR by 2 orders of magnitude. I think it's going to make such a huge difference to have real-time depth of field. Hey, look at this little guy blink. It does. Eye movements and blinks are tracked and instantly mimicked by your avatar. But that would be useless in this case. I like that he looks in different directions. I kind of want to Vive one of these. I don't need one of these. I kind of want one. Vive port. Oh, goodness. Yes. Okay. So I want people. I like it when people double blink sometimes. Who thought to test blinking rates? I don't know. You know, scientists do science. But I like it when people double blink sometimes. I also feel like this blink is still too slow. And I feel like the close duration of my blink, like the amount of time it takes me to close my eyes, is about the same as the open. I'm not seeing any data on differences between close and open duration. Blink at me. I thought I hit play. How long does a blink last? A real blink of an eye takes 300 to 400 milliseconds. That seems like a long time. In each second, a blink of an eye I thought 300 looked slow. So this is about 200 milliseconds. Okay, so I do need to set after this that we just need to set this equal to whatever the target was, because we're not quite getting there. I can't. Of course I can't. And I don't need to maintain that scale anymore. I can just do, I can get whatever. Start scale can just come from this. And then we don't even need this anymore. We are all blinking manually. I'm like hyper focused on my blinking right now. Is my math wrong? Because these all seem like really long blinks. That doesn't, okay, I should get some short ones occasionally, right? So did I do that incorrectly? I said wait somewhere between 2 and 10 seconds between subsequent blinks. I like it when people double blink. So how am I going to do double blinking? Can you make him wince on occasion? I could. We could do like so the real way to do that, I'm really torn on the right way to do this. I can think of lots of ways that I would kind of want to do this face. The kind of two options, I would say, broadly the two options of animating a simple face on this, like knowing that we might want more complexity in the face. Why did Steam just open up? Somebody's talking to me. I'm in the middle of streaming. It's one of my nephews. I should tell them to watch me on stream. Are they old enough for this? Old enough for this content? For this blinking content? Okay, so yes, the two ways that I would think about doing this for a simple character like this. One of them is to think of it all about 3D and make some 3D geometry eyes that could be expressive and could be angry or happy or sad or whatever, and do all of those as, there's different, in the realm of them being in 3D, there's different ways that you could do that, but like blend shapes or morph targets was probably be how you would do it. So basically you would make a bunch of states for some shape of your eyeball geometry and then be able to slide through them and morph between them, which would be pretty good. And then you could even also have specific animations, like the blinking already happened, or you could do that in Unity. But in fact, that's another way. There's different subsets of that. So you could have just on your timeline, like here's the blink, and here's this animation, and here's this animation, and here's this animation, and you could slice them up and put them all together and blend between them in Unity. You could have different blend shapes that are just states for it, like angry, happy, sad, whatever, and do all of that in 3D. The thing that's a little annoying is it would be way easier for me personally to do all these kind of vectory sorts of things, like where it's just like kind of Bezier shapes in like in Illustrator or Flash kind of thing, and then morph between them. So to do this as a 2D world, you could do it where you rendered a 2D face somewhere like over here with 2D tools, and then had a camera take a picture of that and then map that to the face in some way. I would what would be a good way to figure that out? So like a good vectory sort of way. So one way to do it, I guess, would be in Maya to use a bunch of NURBS kinds of surfaces to make all your eyeball shapes, and then somehow convert those into geometry that always had the exact number of vertices that you wanted, and then morphed between those. Is that a thing? It's a little tricky. Because like thinking what this would sort of look like, I mean, really you could sort of sculpt them all yourself, I guess, and use like blendy effector things to do angry or happy, sad, all of those things. I don't know. We're going to stick with this normal blink. I think if I do carry this project through into something that I want to release into the world, I would like the little dude to be expressive like that sometimes. Okay, so but now for Vix, wants to see the arms happen. We have some blinking. I would like to see, I'm just going to make the blink more frequent. We'll say between 1 and 5 seconds. I do like the idea of there being a double blink sometimes. I guess we could set a separate random range here that was like 1 out of 10 times we wouldn't wait at all. Maybe. Yeah, I would have to think about how to do the eyeballs. Like if we were in Maya and we did something like some nerby kind of thing, some nerbish weird. No, we want like I guess you could do it with a NURBS sphere. You could like, you know, squish stuff around. I still have snapping on. And make like angry eyes. And then have some way to morph these. Like I guess you could take this whole thing and squish it, because that's kind of how we made our eyes. And then you could just play with these. That actually might work. That could be angry, for example. Or my entire world is upside down, I think. Squeeze on the Z. Yeah, so we make a skinny little eyeball, sort of like we have. So this would be kind of our starting state. And then if we wanted to, we could make something like this. Seem to have missed a control vertex back there. Like this could be the sad eyes or happy eyes or whatever. And then we could make all these into pieces of geometry, set them up as blend shapes. Like that could be our blink. And then do all that animation in Unity, or set up little animations that play between them. Maybe? That would definitely be a way to do it. I just don't feel like I would personally have the best control with that. You could do a disc. Is a NURBS disc not a thing? I guess you could do a NURBS circle and play with control vertices of this. And make them all kind of 2D-ish, and then that little bit of sort of lighting that's hitting the bottom, you could just sort of fake with a gradient is a thing. I don't know. We're not ready for that. Let's turn on some arms again now that I can blink it myself. Oh, we should make some hands. That's another thing we should do today. Okay, so let's turn VR back on by let's hit the correct button instead of the incorrect button. Vix, you just weirded me out with hearing myself blink. I'm trying to hear it right now. I can't. It's too loud. Okay, virtual reality supported. Yes. Let's run this. And I should see a little blinking friend floating around in space. Yeah. That's not a horrible blink. It's okay. It's not the best blink I've ever seen. But now I can gesture around. I want real hands, I think, instead of these. Look at my hands. Look at my, yes. Instead of these things. The hands, maybe my arms are a little thick. Maybe they're not. So these were just made with cylinders, and then we threw some spheres at the end of it just to make our lives a little easier so we could see those. But I think I'm going to try, let's just try to model some simple little 3-finger hands like we had in the, maybe 3-finger hands are going to be creepy. But we would sort of want to box model those, I think. And then we could add some bones to the hands and then add it where when I squeeze the trigger, he would grab stuff. I don't know. That may be more intense than we want to be. Let's just get some arms with hands on them. That'll be a good start. I really am into talking to this weird little person. Also outlines, kind of want to outlines on everything. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with it. I can put my hands in my head. I'll really try. What should he do? What should I do? Should this be a game? This almost seems like it could be a game. Like he could just do stuff. He could have little planets. He could like whip up little planets and then set them free. That would be kind of cool. Just like do some little thing here and like make some weird little cartoony planet. Yeah, and then look at you for approval. And maybe they're musical planets. So you do a little thing here, you make a musical planet, and then you throw it off into space, and then you could check it out. And throw off a little bunch of little music planets, and then the world will get more exciting. You can do a little dance. Is this making sense? Does this sound good? Yes. The Sun agrees with me that this is a great idea. It's going to be a huge hit. It's going to be a very successful project. Probably the best project I've done in years. Sun here flattering me. Yeah. Okay. Let's start. Let's try to make some hands, and then get frustrated with Maya. How does that sound? Yeah, the fingers. Okay, so the way the fingers used to look was, I could just leave this window open and, or not go to Instagram to download it, but here we are. Does he need teeth? Yeah, consummate V's. Wow. Was that a Homestar Runner reference? Consummate V's. So I did these little 3-finger hands. Those might look creepy. We'll just take this in passes. Let's just try to quickly box model some hands. And I use box model very loosely because this is going to be such a simple thing. Did I close Maya? Didn't mean to. Consummate V's. It was such a period where Homestar Runner was just a cornerstone of my world. Like so many references and jokes, and just, where are you now, Homestar? You were too, Homestar was just before its time. I feel like if Homestar existed now in the land of like Patreon and influencers and whatever, like they would have made trillions of dollars, but they were ahead of their time. Okay, the arms were just tubes. So let's say if the arm was instead a cube, consummate V's. I don't want a NURBS cube. No, I want a regular, good old fashioned cube. How big did we say this was? 0.05. So my nephew is watching me. Oh my gosh. So Draclin, I very frequently throw light switch raves. In fact, that was one of the reasons that I got this light back here. so that I could throw little light switch raves for myself. Let's have a little light switch rave. Wait, this one? Sometimes the light switch, yeah, there we go. Yeah, so I can have, wait, okay, let's turn off these lights. I bought a smart bulb with the express purpose of having my own light switch raves. Let's turn off these. Let's go back here. Yeah, light switch rave. Very good. In fact, do I still have a rave? Does this still work? Oh, this is slightly broken. Look, we're having a rave here too. Everybody have a rave. How did I break this? There we go. Now we got the little, yeah, okay, right. Now we can just turn this back up. Take a little rave break. This is gonna be too loud. A little momentary rave break. Okay, it's enough rave. Disable rave. Rave. Okay, rave's over. Oh yeah, I'm a Serious Maya expert. I forgot about that. Serious Maya experts probably don't throw impromptu raves. Let's turn... Is the music stopped or is it just too quiet? Okay, let's see. Oh, the system is down? Yeah, man, gosh. OnStar, so good. Let's see. Okay, so let's get back to... Can you guys hear that? I want to make that noise not happen. Let's see. Can I make you not make a noise? The sound effects just doesn't sound very good, Steam. Why are you making such a bad noise? Do we need to just start watching Homestar Runner? Oh no, yeah, the Steam, I feel like the sound effect is like, the sound isn't actually very good. Although, I used to think that about all the Skype sounds, and then I had a Skype call this week, and the Skype Jam, the new Skype Jam is amazing. Probably my new favorite song. Steam, can I just turn off audio notifications? Is that possible? How do I do it? Slightly confused here. Settings? Don't mind me. I'm just clicking buttons. How do I do that? How do I make it not make a noise? I don't see any settings for this. It's not in the obvious places. Oh, it's in Friends. Friends? I had to look behind my microphone. Still don't know that I've quite come up with the optimal setup for everything, but getting closer. Yes. Okay, it's a whole different set. Okay, don't play sound. Great, good, done. We're done here. No problem. Okay, what were we doing? Hands. We were gonna add some hands, right? That's back to this desktop. Okay, let's see. We started making a box because the idea is if we smooth the box, it should be a cylinder, right? Oof. That's not quite what we wanted, but. That's okay. We just need a little piece of geometry at the top and everything will be fine. So if we do, now we know how to do this. We know how to do this. We just add a piece of geometry there, piece of cake. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is try to make some hands. So if we had like, yeah, little palms. Yeah, okay. This shouldn't be, this will be easy. Piece of cake, right? Every time I model in Maya, it goes perfectly because I am a Maya expert, as we all know. And there's no possible way that I will do this wrong and get frustrated and embarrass myself. There's just no way. There's no way it'll happen. Look, I remembered the shortcuts. Oh my gosh, this is going swimmingly. So how do we want to do this? I guess we want to have like a little bit of a hand. And then are we going to do 3 fingers? Let's not keep faces together. I don't know about this. Something like that, and then we need I don't know if this is gonna actually look good at all. I mean, it's gonna look great because I'm a Maya expert. I almost forgot. A little piece of geo on the fingertips. Oh my gosh, they're horrifying. It's horrifying. It's horrifying. We blew it. This was what was I thinking? Oh my goodness. Okay. I think it's salvageable. We just want I don't quite know how I want them to look. I mean, we have what's going on in the drawing. I guess he needs something like knuckles, like something. Is that really what these should be? Like maybe one set of knuckles? They're kind of like horrifying little hooks, like little nightmarish claws. These aren't cute. They're not cute at all. Where did we go wrong? They just need to be chubbier. Oops. That's less bad. I don't know that I really want this piece. Can I safely... delete edge vertex, is that a thing, or is that a thing from... Am I thinking of a thing from Cinema 4D? Like if I just throw away these vertices, just don't want them. Yeah, no, that's this. Right. Okay. Maybe I do want those, actually. I mean, that's kind of what it looks like in the drawing. but maybe that's too creepy. Maybe the drawing was creepy all along. Oh yeah, we need a million subdivisions on this too. I forgot. Oh no, I forgot. That's okay. That's fine. Although I really should have done that to start with. I guess I can try to go back in the history of this. What did we say? Perfect. Perfect. Nailed it. Can I do that with just... I think I can do that and just add divisions. Wrong. Dead wrong. Control delete. Is that what I need to hit? Why does that not work? Can't I just not have... I don't want these edges. Get out of here. I know it might look like I'm struggling, but I'm a Maya expert. There's no problems here. Fingernails, is that the secret? Or claws? Nightmarish claws. Okay, so what I want actually is to add 32 subdivisions to the height of this. Can I do that? I know I can do a add divisions here. Can I just keep... I only want to add vertical subdivisions though. So linear controls. Can I not undo that? I'm very confused about what Maya does and doesn't let you undo. Okay, I was able to undo that. Great. Okay, so I think I can do... I have just those faces selected, right? Face, face, face. And now I want to add divisions linearly. Wait, can I not? I only want to add divisions on one axis, not both. And why is this only doing it on 2 of my faces? No? We're not good here? Okay. Linear. That adds 8, but only on 2 of the 4 faces for some mysterious reason that no one understands. Let's just try this. Let's delete all type, delete all the history. Let's try to grab these faces. Maybe I just need to do it one face at a time. That wouldn't be ideal. Add divisions linearly. Why? It doesn't even make any sense. You're killing me. Does that not seem like the thing that I want to do? Doesn't that seem like the thing that I would want to do? Right? I have another idea, which is to cheat This is a great idea. Oh, did I still have a weird mysterious vertex up there? Is that why that thing wasn't working? No, now there's a whole... Okay. I've got a new plan. Let's extrude this back up. Let's snap to grid. Now let's add my subdivisions here. Yes, okay, great. Just what I wanted. No problem. I meant to do that. Arm and hammer, hand, let's call it. Okay, so we have this awful nightmare of a hand down here. But maybe that's okay. Maybe that's what we need. Oops. Something like that. I mean, it's pretty weird and creepy, but again, the hands are pretty weird and creepy in the drawing. So maybe we reconsider other hands at a later date, but maybe this is the one. Yeah, so what I'm doing now, Vix, is, and I think this is how people do this. Again, this is maybe not my full realm of expertise. I probably also should have turned symmetry on so these would actually match, but hey. Is box modeling. So you model it boxy, because that's easy to do, and that's just how the tools work for this kind of polygonal modeling. And then you can smooth things. Kind of, this is just hitting the 1, 2, and 3 key in Maya. But before I actually am ready for this, I would just do mesh smooth. Oops. Mesh smooth and make the whole thing round like so. And I think I will set up the bones before I do that. So I could either delete the old tube mesh, but I don't think I have to. I think I can just do a thing. Basically throw away the old one and just rebind it to this. So throw that one away. And I've got my bones ready. And then I can do, now this will just be my arm mesh. And now I will smooth this. I should really probably keep a copy of this that is not smoothed. Not that I'm going to mess it up, but smooth this creep, and then actually maybe smoother than it needs to be. That's a lot of polygons. That looks fine. And then grab my root bone and the mesh and push the bind button. And then I should be able to grab any bone now. Yeah. So now let's send this selection to Unity as ARM, and hopefully this will just update what was there without destroying things too badly. Okay. Well. I need to delete history. Probably. Because the smoother... edit. Delete all by type history. And now... ARM. Okay. Now we have an arm. The left arm can just be 180-degree rotation of this. And hopefully all of the skeletal stuff and all that just hopefully still works. It doesn't. Doesn't work. Oh, when I deleted history, did I like screw up my bind? Let's try that again. Are you bound? You appear to be bound. Ooh, the weighting on the... There really shouldn't be any weighting on the hands themselves. We can paint weights later if we need to. Expert Unity, selection, arm. Look at those creepy hands. Okay, so now, let's try this. They're imperfect. It's more realistic. Yes, like a biodegradable fork. Yes, that's exactly what I was going for. Hey, look at that. That kind of looks okay. You gotta admit, not that bad. Now, one of the issues here, that actually looks way better. I'm pretty into it. There's no rotation on the hands, which is... should be possible. I don't exactly know how to do it though. Weirdly, I'm seemingly accidentally getting rotation on the hands. Like, the skeleton is just sort of doing the rotation for me. So let's do a couple things. These hands actually look not too horrible. They don't look great, but not horrible. And I maybe could have smoothed them a little more. I really would like to be able to rotate them. Okay, so this means we don't need those spheres anymore, right? He looks like he's trying to explain something. That's the story of my life. This little guy is just a stand-in for me, trying to explain himself. Okay, we don't need to render this stuff anymore. Now the rotation, I should be getting rotation data on these because they're using the same thing as the sun is for the rotation. Yes, this is basic. Yes, right. Okay, we're basically creating that guy, the Ancient Aliens guy. The target for this IK is just a target, and it doesn't seem to care about rotation. And I don't know how to make it care without like actually rotating a bone. Like, what if we don't have the target and we really mess with the bone? Can I do that? Like, if I just grabbed the final joint . Oh my gosh, where's the joint? The final joint. I can't even see the bones during runtime. Okay. I may not be able to have any control over these. That is the final joint. And if it really wants to be in control of the rotation. And position. So it's continually moving that because I have the target. So what if I don't have the target? And I just mess with the bones? So I need to be... If we don't have this, can I just play with bones? I can. And then in this case, can I play with rotation? Oops. Wait, I can't play with bones. I was moving the wrong... What was I moving? Wait, what did I move a minute ago to make this actually move? Was this still using the target even though I unset the target? What did I do? How did I do that? What was I moving? Did I move like the actual arm itself? That is not right. It has a target again. That seems like I'm not doing something correctly. I guess we could watch... We could go look at some of the Final IK tutorials that come with this. Projects is slow. I don't know if it's the IK or the Kirby stuff. It seems like it takes way too long to open and close. Once it runs, it seems fast. It's not super fast on this computer, actually. We got some skin meshes. Oh, too many bones. Too many bones. A lot of batches still. Okay. The skin to mesh renderer can be heavy. That's true. It can be a heavy thing. Okay, so let's just take a little moment and check out. How long have I been streaming? Almost 3 hours. Fabric root. Click on the fabric root game object and move the A car. Okay, click on fabric root and move the IK targets around. How? Oh. That's weird. Oh, so the fabric root, and then I can drag these targets. Maybe that's what I did before. But these don't have, there's no rotation in these. As near as I could tell. Okay, so there's that thing. So what does that actually look like? So these all have fabric scripts. These have rotation limit angle scripts that do not appear to be socket to hinge X. Okay. Click on the arm, move the target around. What is the target? Is there not a target? A mech spider. Great. Fabric. Constraint. Maybe I need constraints on those so they don't get so bendy. So weird in their bendiness. I'm confused about when this says to... Oops. Move the IK target around, but what is that? What is the IK target? This is. But that's not actually the thing. This is just a thing. Like, so this is kind of what we're using, but it's not giving us any rotation. Oh my gosh, what are all these things? Body tilt. Boxing. Yeah, I want this guy to box. Move the punch target around. Driving, shooting, head, hit reaction, holding hands. How sweet. A kissing rig. Motion absorb, offset, recoil. Hand effector, CV. How does this work? That's a hand effector, so I can just grab this, presumably? No? That looks like an effector. Dummy, bip dummy. A finger rig, a grounder, limb IK. VRIK. What does that mean? Oh, is this to give you like a fake body if you're in VR? That'd be cool. That would kind of be what I would want, actually. Like, is there anything special on just here? So does it do anything to the hand rotation wise? Oops. I'm just guessing here, as usual. Like, how's it gonna get, how does it get the with hand controllers? UK. How do you work? Bend modifier, great. MIK. That's all we want at all. I feel like this sent me into the wrong place. Ooh, those rotation limits are kind of cool, but seemingly more complicated than what I want. I just want I feel like this is the start of what I want. I want a VR IK dude. But where does it get the... VR input? Auto detect references. Where's that thing? Right click on the component header. Auto detect references. Fill in manually. Oh, that's for a humanoid character. IK Solver VR. I just don't need all the other references. I just don't need all these other things. I just want IK Solver VR utilities. That's handy to know. I feel like I need all this stuff though. I feel like it could be a little simpler. I just want to rotate the target. That seems like that should be a thing, right? Maybe I'll have to write a script. Center eye anchor invoice. Tab avatar. Local positions, rotations, the IK targets. Okay, but then how do I apply those? Do I have to set that, build and assign IK Solver this should be... Oh, it's complicated. If I do look at instead? That doesn't care. Well, I don't want to dive too... Is there other problems to solve with Final IK? I feel like we got a good-ish start, though. We may just have to write our own scripts for that, though. It's slightly annoying because I feel like it's very close. It's just if the target supported rotation. Like, it seems like we're so close. I just need to rotate a joint, basically. It doesn't seem like that should be... It's called the end effector. No, that's not what I want at all. Oh well, okay. I feel like we can table that for today. I know it's a we crash test dummies. We covered a lot of ground as I meandered and didn't know what I was doing and lost the thread a little bit. Unsurprising. So we got our little friend. Let's make some arm textures while we're at it. Let's just get it a little bit closer to being a thing. I don't think I'm gonna stream too much longer. Coming up in 3 hours. Create material arm. Oh, these arms are gonna be something. The UVs on them are probably a nightmare, but that's okay. It is not a concern just for solid color, and then we can just go do some auto UVs on them at some point. But let's at least get them in the right realm. Okay, so what are we thinking here? We've got our little dude. Really, I'm curious about what's so slow. Is it curvy, or is it the IK stuff? It seems like it takes a long time to start this scene. Does not seem to be curvy. Seems like it takes a long time to stop the scene also. Is it just Unity in a jerk? Oh, my screen just kind of glitched in a weird way. Not good news. Is the stream still streaming? Appears to be. Are we still good here? Have I not had... I just realized I did not pause Backblaze, but surprisingly have not seemed to have horrible bitrate problems. Unless I have. Oh man, the way my mic stand is right now, I can't see the little stream quality indicator very easily, so it's very possible that I had some horrible streaming moments. Oh, that would suck. That would be very disappointing if that was the case. Although we've been dealing with pretty small assets, so I need to get this indicator somewhere. Maybe I'll make it where the light changes. I'll like set things up so the light changes based on the quality of the stream, and then if it turns blood red, then I know that I've got problems. Where am I? Oh yeah, I turned everything off. I forgot. Turn everything back on. Still slow. So it's something I'm doing. Maybe it's because I've got... I don't have Substance open, just Maya. Uh-oh, what's going on? I broke one of my arms. I think I took that hand solver off. I just want to be able to rotate this. That doesn't seem like it should be that hard, right? Seems like it should be pretty simple. This looks pretty good in VR. Hello, little friend. I just want you to turn your hand where mine is. Okay, we'll probably just have to write some script where we manually rotate that bone or something. Or like write our own targeting thing, maybe? I just don't know enough about Final IK. But hey, that's part of what the point of doing this was to learn. Yeah, so left-hand transform I lost. Okay, so we got that. We have this. What? Are there any other like little? I feel like arms. We did arms today. That's a pretty big deal. Are there any other lowish hanging fruit that we want to tackle? Get some more pluses back would be easy enough to throw in some pluses because those are just individual models now, I think. Where are you, plus? You're tiny! And then we just needed to give you a plus, and then just the normal outline, and make some pluses happen. They're all too big. In fact, he probably ends up as here-ish anyway, right? Maybe I only did one. Oh. Pluses. Aren't vibrant enough. That's a solvable problem. Oh. Oh, you, this way. Ooh, that's a mess. Don't look in there. Ooh. It'll be a little weird to try to block this properly for VR. But we'll figure it out, probably. Maybe those all need to rotate at slightly different rates. They need to glow too. Looking slightly emissive. Not crazy about their outlines, but we'll solve that another day. Make the sky a little darker for now. We will eventually like really try to do something approaching the design of the sky as it is in the drawing. Just seems too bright. And then this freaking dotted line, let's do... where do I... set whether or not path is closed or open. Here. So this is gonna be ridiculous. I don't want this to be just 2D. I think we want to try to make it like crazy flowing through space. I don't know how we're gonna do that and have them always be oriented to the camera, but we'll figure it out. I guess if they were actually squarish, that would work. Ooh. I don't know about this. This may take some time to sculpt, but I just want to try to get it kind of, you know, vaguely like it's positioned in a deliberate way. It's gonna be tricky to do, and like, you know, you can get the composition to something reasonable in 2D, but do you have it look good in 3D space? Seems tricky. You also need way more control points. Can I add? No, I want to just draw control points. Can't I do that? I was always going to try to add them to the end. I got rid of them and then just started. That's not the worst. You can start with this. And then the thing to do, I think, is to like start dragging them around in Z. Oh, what just happened there? We'd really want this to be way bigger and like flow all through the cosmos. I don't exactly know how I want to do that. Maybe I don't. Okay, but that is at least feeling sort of like the drawing. Those really extreme angle changes do not look so hot. We also probably need to blink. I mean, maybe it's just because of this music I'm listening to. Feels like this should be more of a space rave. Yeah, we could easily add a few more planets. While we're at it, let's just do it. Because those will just be simple spheres, and we'll throw the inverted thing on them. So we only really have 3 planets in here. And then we can throw, maybe we'll do a geometry particle system for that would be too much. For the stars. So if we did like, if the shape is a sphere and the radius thickness if the radius is 10 and the radius thickness is 6, that's probably way too big. Oh, that's just a fraction. Okay, so if we do this, and then we have no speed, and then we have them be way smaller, and I kind of don't want them to have any. We would set maybe size over lifetime and make it a ramp up and then ramp down. Yeah. And then we don't really want them to be, I mean, we could make them geometry particles, but that would be like mesh particles. Little spheres. That's really overkill, though. I don't think we need to do that. I think they can just be billboards. Yeah. Spix, thank you for hanging out. Have a lovely night. I think I missed you, Leaf, but that's okay. Your departure will be commemorated in the archive forever. So. What do we want to do here? We want to just little star particles, starticles. It sounded slightly gross. This will be particles. These new weird particle systems. I don't know anything about that. This is not the thing to do. Kind of not. I don't really want this. I sort of just want good old-fashioned alpha particles. And maybe more of them. Got a longer lifetime. Mm-hmm. And then we'd add a couple planets, right? Which is really just a sphere in a sphere. And that can have that inverted outline shader. And then this dude will just have and we'll come up with better ways to do these things at some point. But just to get stuff going, I think this is probably big and far away. I kind of like the idea of this guy manufacturing little weird musical little planets. Kind of into it. Outline stays the same. This will be a little orange planet. Oops. A will be purple one. B will be orange. C will be the green one. Yeah, this is just a little guy up here somewhere. Ah, the outline thing. I think we can do a weird post-processing shader for it. I think that's the way to do it. Maybe? Maybe? Hey. Okay, so everything is probably still a mess. We do at least have some planets now. We've got some arms. We have eyes that blink. We did a lot of stuff today. I still don't know what this thing is, but I'm starting to like the idea of it. I'm starting to like the idea of you are just this little sun guy, and then you're just making stuff. And then you are just throwing it out into the world, and then that is what makes this weird little universe. And maybe all these things will be musical. And you can just sort of have a little outer space rave. And then maybe every once in a while his little speech bubble will come up. So we're still not there yet, but this almost looks like a thing, right? Like it's starting to look like the thing we want. So let's spend a little time in VR. Oops. Okay, it's already on. Can I do this? Is this gonna screw up everything? If I send the audio to the Oculus Rift instead? That made it not go to the stream anymore, right? But you can still hear the mic. Okay, that was a mistake. Don't do that. Send it to here, yes. I guess maybe in my Rift settings, I can do a thing. Right? I can probably say send audio to the machine. Play audio to both your windows. Hear non-VR apps. It seems to not actually quite be true. But that's okay. I don't know the audio. It would just help me with my personal rave a little bit. Okay, so this is running. I've got my little guy. Let's take off that machine. Let's put on this machine. Oh yeah, I like those stars. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. I think I just hit the microphone. Sorry. I think he's too far away though. I don't actually want him to be that far away. So that offset, I think I don't want that main global offset. I think we don't want it. I think we want to be a little more up close and personal with our guy. Let's have no offset here. That may screw us up with our arms though. Let's see what that does. No, they're okay. So we can still like get in the way of things, which isn't great. I actually am kind of into the dotted line. I think we could change that to cubes and it'd be pretty good. I'm definitely having some tracking problems. The galaxy looks pretty good. The stars could all be rotating. Our, can you see me? Am I on camera? Yes, okay. Wildly gesticulating, talking to no one. I assume you can still hear me. Looks like you can, as long as I vaguely speak in that direction. So, yeah. I feel like the view reset is not letting me do what I want to do though, because I would actually like the view to be, like if I reset the view here, I want my dude to move, but this doesn't reorient, so maybe I need to do something in the Oculus settings. Although this is working where I can do the little dashboard thing and I'm still frozen in the world. This is pretty good. It's pretty good. So I kind of want to get that Starfield going, or like the grungy background. I do think his texture is working okay. We definitely need textures on all this other stuff. We got to texture the arms a little bit. I would really like to have the hands rotate, but at least I can dance. I need to just do like a little capture of this, I think. I don't know how to do that. I've got that Unity capture stuff installed, but as far as recording a video, man, this looks pretty good in VR. I think it probably doesn't look that good not in VR, but just for the record, just so it's tracked. I kind of want his arms to not, I want his arms to track with him but not rotate. So maybe that's a thing we need to do. Where the arms, like the root of the arms are always sort of coming out of the bottom of him. I don't know, that might not look good. And then we could do this, the tracking sort of separate. But he's pretty cute. The arms I'm pretty pleased with. They mostly work reasonably well. I can get in a state like this where they're a little crunchy down there, which they could have I guess more bones would help with that, or maybe changing the weighting of the bones. But in general, I feel like the arms are working pretty well. These dashes look pretty good. The stars look pretty good. This went pretty well today. Good job, little son. Way to go. Little pep talk. He has trouble being expressive since all he can do is blink and wave his arms around. Okay. Well, there we go. So I think that went okay. I think we did okay. Right? Right? Yeah. So I think I'm gonna call it for today. Thank you to Vix and thank you to Draclin for stopping by, hanging out for a little while. Thank you to my nephew Tyson, who was watching somewhere in the world, and to anyone else who was lurking, although I think it was mainly bots, but whatever. Also, this will go to YouTube. Thank you on YouTube to anybody who watches this, but who would watch me do this for over 3 hours? Just do nonsense? I don't know. Maybe I should stream straight there instead of just to Twitch and uploading it. I don't know the answer. Weirdly, though, something that seems not good is the video on Twitch seems kind of behind now, which makes me think I may have had some bitrate problems. So that's going to be kind of a bummer. Apologies if there's bad bitrate problems. I hope they weren't too bad. I need to come up with some solution with my microphone to be able to see the thing I currently can't see. Man. Surely they weren't too bad, right? Right? I hope. I don't know. Anyway, okay. Thanks for stopping by. We will stream more. We'll stream more, right? Have a lovely evening.